I'll show you some charts. I'm looking at some indicators. I'm looking at. Want to apologize for not posting earlier. I was watching Bitcoin carefully. Nothing had really changed, and then in the session we had that move higher, so I was watching that closely. I was managing my positions with the stock market, with cryptocurrency. I watching this very carefully. I was watching to see if any information would change, and I'll go through some of the indicators with you. But I'm a trader, and sometimes I have to manage my positions, and I watch things carefully because I have money on the line. So I have to watch things, and I was watching this, what was becoming of this, and I was watching the stock market as well and cryptocurrencies. I thank you for your patience. You know, sometimes with trading, we just sit and let things unfold. Other times we have to manage positions, and so I'm watching very closely. I'm still hanging in there on the short side with Bitcoin. Again, I could be wrong on that because Bitcoin's going sideways, and again, we're trying to break out, at least for right now, a possible bull flag for a second attempt to do it. Might end up flipping back to bullish, and I was watching this very carefully. We start going higher, I'm going to get stopped out, and then I'll have to reevaluate here. A very successful long position, rising 50%, catching most of that move. Trying to play the pullback, but like I said, it may already be done here, so I'm watching that. But I do apologize being able to post earlier. I've been managing my positions, so I thank you for your patience. Now, one of the problems is we're stalling at the resistance zone. The other problem is that if we are to clear it, you've got the possibility of divergences on the MACD and the RSI. Now, again, that goes away. If we start seeing the RSI start moving upward in strength, certainly possible. The MACD is pretty far away from those highs, so maybe you form a larger divergence and we get a legitimate breakout here with the bull flag. We'll be watching. If we do have a breakout, if the RSI can remain above 50. Notice when the RSI was below 50, Bitcoin was moving lower. When the RSI moved above 50, Bitcoin was moving higher. Right now, we dropped below 50, got it back above it, dropped it below it, back above it, back and forth, back and forth. The RSI is telling us we're going sideways. And stay above 50 like it did over here when we broke out of the double bottom and the trend line. You broke the downward trend line, you got back above 50. Then you can start getting a trending move. Above the cloud, it started to turn red, back to green. That's positive. And to break out of a bull flag, that's positive after a failed attempt. Now we have more work to be done if Bitcoin's going to go higher. I've told you we might have this as a low with just a shallow retracement for an ABC for the right shoulder question mark, or if we have a failed breakout, or if we end up getting another push down, this correction might not be over. Again, I think once it's done, we're going much higher. The question right now is, we have to determine, okay, is this thing done? I have too many mixed signals to say for sure that it's done and over with. They're still mixed. So again, if we get that breakout, then maybe all the signals turn back to bullish. Stochastic's turning back up right here. Again, we may go higher. We may overthrow this level. We may go up. Remember the trend line I was talking about going to this trend line? We may end up going up to that trend line and still end up coming up here, pushing above 112,000, going up here, and then end up having the move still fail. You've got to get above the resistance zone and stay above it to have it be the real deal. So again, we'll be watching. Now, MACD is in positive territory. That's good. You're trying to get a breakout. That's good. Bulls need to have us clear the resistance zone and all the signals turn back to bullish. Bears need a failed breakout here. Rejection either here or at these trend lines up here, and to have a failed breakout. So there you have it, the bullish and bearish scenarios. Now, I've talked about the bullish scenarios here with the Elliott wave count. Again, Elliott wave speculation. The bullish scenario is that the correction's over, and we've had a correction, and it's now done. And we've got a wave 1, and we've got a wave 2. Now in wave 3, and we're getting these first subwaves of it. Now maybe we have a wave 1 with this wave 3. Okay, wave 3 is now started with the circle 2 here. We're now starting circle 3, the primary wave 3. Okay, and here we have these intermediate waves going on, smaller micro waves. Okay, and maybe we have a 1 here, 2, and now we're starting the 3. Get a legitimate breakout, and you get a 1, 2, and a 3, and this is 1, 2, and you're getting this extended third for intermediate wave. Would be the third after this 2 right here, where you're getting the third, and you're getting these smaller microwaves in here, these minor waves. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, and you're going to continue on up to 4, 5. You're going to form your intermediate wave 3, primary wave 3, and again, primary wave 3 is under construction. Okay, that's the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario, the other bullish scenario, is that we didn't finish one here, but maybe this whole thing is one. So if we didn't finish a wave 1 over here, intermediate wave 1, maybe it's here, and you pull back and you get a wave 2, certainly possible. But these are the bullish scenarios that say, hey, the bottom's in. Either we're already going on into the primary wave 3, that would be circled, and that we're getting these smaller intermediate waves that are going to make up primary wave 3. You're carving out the wave 1 and 2. So these are the bullish scenarios. Even if we pull back, you don't take out this low, okay? And that we've just had a more mild pullback. Parameter positive here, but it's forming negative divergence, which is problematic at the resistance zone. Now, I've talked about a complex correction. That still could be the case. A larger one could still be the case. But another possibility, and again, either scenario is possible. Another possibility, and I've marked it here as a possible A. If we have a 3-leg push down, a 3-leg push back up, and we end up getting a 5-leg push down, taking this level out, you can still have a larger flat pattern. Expanded flat is what happens is you come up here and you go here and you move just above this high right here. You move just above it, and it ends up being a failed breakout, and then you come back down and you take out this low right here. That's an expanded flat. I don't know if that's going to be the case here, but again, it's a possibility. I've marked that here with the possible A, B, and C formation to complete primary wave 2. Again, speculation. This is the bearish case. The correction is not over. The bullish case is correction is done, and I just went over that. Again, the problem here with the breakout, we moved up here, we inched just above this area right here, we turned down off of it. Maybe we're not done, but you're forming a negative divergence. We had a negative divergence here. Actually, you had one right there with that peak, and then you got another one here with this peak, and then now you're getting another one here. So again, maybe that divergence gets canceled out if we can see the MACD go higher, if we can get a legitimate breakout. But right now, you've still got the possibility of a multiple point negative divergence here. So if we're done, we need to see evidence of that. Look at the 50 and the 200. Again, the 50 dropping below the 200, back above it. The green line's at 50, the black line's at 200, drops back below it, back above it, back and forth, back and forth. We're going sideways. Got to be able to clear this level. Support the channel with the link directly below that allows me to be able to provide you this information. If you like the charts, you like the indicators, consider supporting the channel today. Just follow the link below to take you to a secured site, and you can donate any amount you want or make it a recurring donation. If you do that, I thank you. So I just need to see some real evidence that this is over, but we have divergences developing. We had a divergence right here at this peak right here. Some indicators. We've got a divergence right here, right now, on some indicators. Again, if we have a legitimate breakout, Bitcoin's got to prove itself. Bulls have to step up to the plate, prove it. Okay, Bitcoin is now into the Thursday session, a couple hours into the Thursday session. For the Wednesday session, it was up just over 2%, and it went right up to the resistance zone and slammed the brakes on. Nothing has changed. You got to be able to clear the resistance zone in the high end of the resistance zone, able to clear it, and then you got to be able to stay above it and not get a head fake. Over here, we slightly cleared resistance, and it was a head fake, and we got rejection at the ribbon. That was a January high. We did something very similar. We corrected, and then we came back up and we tried to break out, and it failed. So we have to see clearing of the resistance zone, and then we got to be able to get back above the ribbon, turn bars back to blue if this is the real deal, Don Steele, and not some fake, phony, baloney, plastic banana head fake. I know it's frustrating when signals go, when signals go sideways. Right now, what we have looks similar to this. Now, if we can clear it, then it won't look similar to this. It will be turning back to bullish. We had a very big rally as well, but it couldn't flip the signal. Now, we may flip the signal. Great Scott, did you hear what I said? Yeah, the correction, as I keep saying, may be done. We got to see everything turn back to bullish and clear the resistance zone. Here's this dotted red line right here at the upper end of the resistance zone. And that's where we came up to. We came up to it. We stalled. That's at the lower end of the ribbon. And we got rejection there, turning off of it just a little bit. If you can clear it, that's going to be bullish. But you got to be able to clear it, and you got to be able to stay above that resistance zone and clear this ribbon and stay above it and flip the bars back to blue. Get rejection here at the ribbon, or even try to overthrow it as we did over here, but then you can't do it, would be bearish. So again, the moment of truth. Again, you got a possible bull flag, a possible correction that's done, but we need to see the proof. Bitcoin's going sideways. Do you see this? Indicators are all mixed. Don't work anymore. No, they're doing their job. You may not like what they're telling you. You don't have to like the message. Bitcoin doesn't care if you like or don't like that it's going sideways. Say don't like. It doesn't care that you don't like that. It's either going sideways to get another push down, or the bullish scenario is that we've completed an ABC and we're now moving to get the next leg higher. And that very well could be. The stock market's about to peak. Bitcoin already did back on May 22nd. Bitcoin is the leader of the pack. Maybe the stock market ends up playing catch up and Bitcoin goes on its way. But if we can't clear this level and stay above it, well, you can't bust them up, then guess what? You're going to try to bust them back down, back to this low here, back to this low here, back to these lows on it over here. And again, we're going sideways. The indicators are doing their job. They tell me when Bitcoin's going up, down, and sideways. I'm telling you what has to happen to have a bullish scenario. If we clear this level, we stay above it, it's bullish. If we clear this level and then it fails, well, it's bearish. And maybe you get a very large expanded flat. That is the case. This whole thing ends up being an A, B, and a C, or an expanded flat. We go just above this high right here. We inched above it here just barely. But if you go a little higher, it ends up being a failed breakout, and then you come back down. Then you got yourself an expanded flat. The bullish scenario is that the correction's done and that we're now going on our way. The problem is we still have mixed signals. That's the problem. Now, I've got all kinds of signals that are going back and forth. Some of them are bullish, like right here. We've turned back to bullish, but you can clearly see we're going back and forth. Bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, back and forth. If this now is going to be a trending signal, then we have to remain bullish and clear the resistance zone and not drop back below it. Not get some head fake, okay? Phony breakout, but the real deal. Don Steele. Other indicators that are bearish. Now, momentum is bullish at the moment for Bitcoin. The momentum line is still bullish, but look at what's going on here with this sideways move. Blue for bullish, red for bearish, blue, red, blue, back and forth, back and forth. And again, it's showing that we're going sideways. Being signals for momentum, bottoming signals here and over here. Some signals are bullish, others are bearish. We're going sideways. If this is now finishing the correction, we've got to break out above overhead resistance and see everything turn back to bullish. I know it's frustrating when price goes sideways and you're trying to figure out, okay, is the correction done? Is the advance now resuming? And it's frustrating. I get it. As I keep saying, the correction may be done. Maybe it was just a mild correction. But I need to see more evidence. We've got to be able to clear the resistance zone. Able to clear the ribbon. How about the cloud? We came right up to the cloud. Look at that. We slammed the brakes on right there at the cloud. So again, if we can clear it, you can get above the cloud. You can clear the resistance zone. You clear the resistance zone there. You clear the cloud. You flip it, back to green, then we're off to the races if we can get a legitimate breakout. But right now, you've had a rally. You've come back to is to test the highs over here. Got to be able to clear this level. Again, look at over here. Here, we broke the cloud. We sold off. We came back up to it. We tried to get back above it. Even got a topping tail above it, a couple of them, but then it failed. You have blue bars. Here we have blue bars. You had the momentum being blue here, just like what we have right now, but it still halted the advance. Now, if we can clear that level, then we can continue and resume the advance. Now you're stalling at this moment in the resistance zone, at the upper end of the resistance zone, tippy-toeing just slightly above it and then turning down off of it and trading under it at the moment. So again, do we have something like this? Or do we have something like this where we're going to break out above the cloud and stay above it? One thing I'm watching intraday is the sequence count. We're about to get a 9 bar here at the resistance area. Even if we overthrow it, this risk is that it's a failed breakout. Again, you got to be able to clear this area and then be able to stay above it. What you have technical analysis, you have what's called a head fake, where you go up and you get a breakout above it, but then it ends up failing. So I'm going to be watching this because, again, the 9 counts, the 13 counts have marked interesting turning points. You had a 9 count. We went a little bit higher here. You had the 9 count, 9. That marked this bottom, a 9-9. Here we got a 9, but we went a little bit higher. And then we got the turn, 13 here, 9 here. Some of them you go a little higher, a little bit lower, and then you turn. Others you turn immediately. Here we got a 9-9, and we've gone sideways. We're about to get another 9. I'll be watching. We have a legitimate breakout. We got to clear this area, not get rejection at it. Get a head fake above it, and then have it fail. So right now, in an intraday time frame, up to bar 8. So I'll be watching to see what happens with bar 9. If it completes, if it doesn't complete, we turn down. We close below the bar from 4 bars ago. Does complete? Does it give us a breakout? We get a trend extension, or is it a 9 that marks a failed breakout here and we end up turning back down? Don't forget we had that 13 count mark the lower high for Bitcoin. We've come back up an inch, just barely above that high right there on an intraday basis for the intraday high of the candle, stalling at the resistance zone. So I got to be able to clear that level, hold above the 50 period here, which is good. We're trying to determine, okay, is the correction now done? The advance is now going to resume, and that could be the case. If we can flip the ribbon, if we can get back above it, if we can clear the cloud, clear the resistance zone, then again, you have potential bottom end. We get rejection, these levels, or a failed breakout, then you got real problems. Most scenarios, the correction is done with just a shallow pullback, and we have a breakout of a bull flag. Again, over here, we have had a failed breakout of the bull flag. Just still may try it. Bullish scenario, and that may be what's taking place right now. You got to be able to clear the resistance zone. You got to be able to clear the ribbon. You got to be able to clear the cloud. Not a head fake and a failed breakout. You got to clear that resistance zone and stay above it. We'll be watching. Risk is we still pull back and get a larger Fibonacci retracement if this corrective move is not done. And again, we are going sideways. Right now, everybody is super, super bullish. Just remember, the risk is that we're not out of the woods yet. The same people that were super bearish when I was calling the double bottom down here, now the same people that are now euphoric, just like they were back up here, back at the January top. If Bitcoin there's a resistance zone and all my signals turn bullish, I will follow my signals. Right now, I'm neutral. I need to see more evidence if this is the real deal, which means we break out of this sideways move. We break out of this trading range, and that becomes support. You may not like that. That's where we're at. Now, again, maybe we have now a breakout. We've had this failed breakout right here. Maybe now we have a real breakout. The bull flag is a continuation pattern. Again, I have bullish scenarios, bearish scenarios. Bearish scenarios that we get rejection. at the ribbon. Try to get above it and it fails in the resistance zone here. Bullish scenario as we clear these areas. Again, I remain longer term bullish. Again, in May, I did predict we would pull back. The question is that pullback now done? With this push to new highs during the Wednesday session, pushing to new highs, another problem you have is you're forming another reference point of a divergence. Even if we go a little bit higher and you end up getting a failed breakout, you break out and then you end up seeing it failed, you still have negative divergences. That's a problem. And again, signals going back and forth from bullish to bearish, back to bullish right now. We need a legitimate breakout here and clear the ribbon, clear the cloud I've been showing you in my videos, showing you in this video. We need to clear those levels if this is a legitimate breakout. On June 22nd, I gave you this bottom right here. Told you that could be a bottom or we can get a counter trend. Well, now we're pushing up slightly above the other peak, May 22nd, so we'll be watching. Do we get a legitimate breakout? We had another warning sign here that we we're going to get either a pullback or reversal. We peaked there on July 3rd, and on July 4th, Independence Day, we got that signal, and it gave us a pullback, at least so far. Now we're getting another one. So we may overthrow this level and still have a failed breakout, go above it, the head fake, but signal can go away before the session ends. We may get a legitimate breakout, but this has risk of being something like what we had back over here, where you get a couple of signals near a top, couple of signals near a top, couple of signals near a bottom. Signals don't tell me whether we're topping or bottoming. It tells me when momentum could shift. It doesn't tell me how big of the shift it will be. Something like right here, we got a little tiny pullback. We went higher, and then we got another one, and we got another pullback. So again, we'll be watching to see what becomes of this. Other times the signals, major turning points, the bottom over here, the tops over here in January and December. Sometimes you get these back-to-back signals like what we had over here, what we had over here, like what we had over here, like what we had over here. Signal might go away by the close on Thursday session, but it may stay. Just tells me where we might see a possible pullback or reversal. The last one we got was a very small pullback. The signal here gave us a rally back to test the high, so we'll be watching. And again, listen carefully. Are you listening? This signal might go away. Might go away by the close of Thursday's session. So keep that in mind. Again, get the final print until the closing bar. The signal could go away. Get another sign there. Then again, maybe you end up the failed breakout or a head fake. Signal goes away. Then maybe you get a legitimate breakout. It's frustrating when price goes sideways. Signals are going back and forth from bearish to bullish to bearish, and it tells you that you're trendless. You're going sideways. We get a legitimate breakout. Or it's like over here, it's a fake out. You tried to clear the previous peak and it was a fake out. You moved slightly higher in January, but it was a fake out. Remember, we got a big rally and it was still a fake out. We had rallied up 8% Trump's inauguration day, and the rally ended up failing and we gave it all back. If we can hold above the orange line, if we can hold above the purple line, that's bullish and get a breakout. If you drop back below those levels and flip back to red, then that's going to be bearish. Bars are also going back and forth from blue to red, back and forth, showing the sideways price action. If we get a legitimate breakout, that's going to be very bullish. The risk is that you have something like what we had over here, where you had a bearish signal, bullish, bearish, bullish, and eventually it was followed by a bigger sell-off, followed by this. And here, again, this looks very similar to what we have here. And again, a possible bull flag. You got a possible breakout of the bull flag now. Maybe the ABC correction is done, but we got to be able to clear the resistance. Over here, you couldn't clear that resistance zone. You just couldn't do it. And again, even if we got above it, but then we couldn't stay there. And again, we're trying to get above this level. Can we stay there? Can we get a legitimate breakout? I don't know. Open-minded. I'm still long-term bullish. I'm just telling you, we're going sideways. Over here, we went sideways. Here we went sideways, and we ended up forming a bottom and a reversal. Here we went sideways, and we got a top. Is this a continuation pattern, or is it a reversal pattern? I don't know the answer to that. The signals now remain bullish, and we get a legitimate breakout. Here, we went just a little bit lower there. The previous low, undercut it just a little bit. Here we just a little bit higher. But it was followed by reversals. Do we see that here? I don't know the answer to that. Get a breakout, and it flips everything to bullish. Okay, right now, you got a lot of chop and slop is what you've got here. I'm watching that ribbon very closely to see if we try to clear it. Like I said, you break out above the overhead resistance area, you got to be able to stay above that level. Get a head fake. Over here, we had a head fake. Just moved just above it. It was a fake out, not a breakout. Over here, it was a fake out. Oh, we're all going to die. And it was a bottom. People that are telling us bullish everything is right now are the same people that told us that we are going to crash at the bottom. So just, again, be objective and open-minded. I am longer-term bullish, and I think that Bitcoin will eventually move higher. Maybe this is it. I don't have enough evidence for that. If you know the future, one up on me. I'm a trader. I look at support and resistance levels. At resistance, we need to be able to clear it. Not get a head fake. Not get a failed breakout. Picking up what I'm throwing down. Remain objective. Again, I really don't care which way Bitcoin goes. I can make money either way, up or down. I really don't care. But I make money when Bitcoin trends up or down. Right now, we're going sideways. I told you if we start clearing this resistance zone, that'll be a sign of strength. Right now, we come right up to it, we slam the brakes on. So what do you do with that? I'm just as frustrated as you are. Again, I don't like sideways moves for day traders. When Bitcoin trends, that's for swing traders. I'm a swing trader. And here, back and forth from blue to red bars. We're back to blue. If it can stay that way, you get a breakout, the resistance zone, and not stall at this trend line right here, connecting this high, and this high, just slightly excluding the shadow there. About 113, 114,000. If you stall there, then again, you turn back down, you get a possible breakout with an expanded flat. Look, that's what I'm looking at. This right here, from the high right here to the low over here, it's a bottoming tail, so it's hard to see. That's 27 bars, okay? 27 days, that's what it took. From here, from the high on May 22nd, well, 27 days was right here. So this went on just a few more days longer. So again, that's fairly close. That's good. So maybe we've got a bottom. Okay, the corrections here for the left shoulder to the low, from the first peak to the low that began the left shoulder, very close amount that time that we had for the right shoulder, just 27 days and just a little bit more. The measurement, well, if we take from this high right here to this lower here, if I just move it back, you can see it's just over 17.5%. We have something similar here. Well, not quite. We would have to go down to the low 90,000 area, about 91 or 92,000, in order to have a similar type of sell-off. Now, again, maybe it's an unbalanced pattern for an inverse head and shoulders pattern. That's often the case. But so far, we have a similar amount of time. We have one over 17.5% sell-off. Our sell-off was about 12%. It was more of a shallow retracement. We didn't even hit the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement. So again, going to be watching. Do we have something like this where bars just start going back and forth and you end up getting this? And not saying that we're going to get that big of a sell-off. That's not what I'm thinking at all. Saying, do we end up getting a bigger sell-off? Or do bars remain blue and we get a breakout? We end up clearing this trend line. We end up clearing the overhead resistance zone, and everything turns bullish, we clear the ribbon. It's frustrating when price goes sideways, but price indicators are doing their job. They're telling us we're going sideways. If the signals can remain bullish and break out, we'll have a clear signal. We still have mixed signals. Unfortunately, that means that there's still risk that the sell-off isn't over. Be over. We need to get evidence of that. We don't have it yet. So that's frustrating.